Hello and welcome. Today we're gonna be playing with some Hog Cycle in Ultimate Champion. Hog Cycle is the deck that kinda requires patience, most notably in single elixir, so obviously we'll start a game slow, play the defense against Golem Barrel, and then defend the Hog Rider. My opponent has the Mega Knight, which is definitely an interesting variation. We're gonna try to figure out what else he has, and we're gonna get a very nice King Tower activation on the MK. Remember these placements, as they're gonna be very helpful for you if you are stuck playing against Mega Knights. That's usually gonna be the placement that you want to remember, because just there are gonna be a lot of Mega Knights to defend, and King Tower activation, pretty much no matter the spot, will always be in some way, shape or form useful. So we're gonna get the Ice Spirit to kinda counter all this mess. I don't think that's the worst thing that we could have played. We're gonna play Firecracker. I think we're kinda equal on Elixir because we obviously overspent a little on his skeleton army. Now he's gonna protect the princess, which is very neat move. I'm gonna play the log on the princess just to get a fully countered. My opponent is not playing Evo MK, which is gonna be very good because it means that we can indeed get some hog hits despite him having MK. Now I'm gonna play Ice Spirit here to distract the prince. I wish I distracted the prince, but I did not. That's very unfortunate, but we're gonna get the prince distracted after freezing it with the Ice Spirit, so it's not gonna be too bad. I'm gonna play Earthquake Prediction on his skeleton army because it's the only answer on his hand, and that's how we're gonna take the tower. Honestly, I'm very surprised by my opponent's deck. Definitely not something that you will see a lot in Ultimate Champion, but I think it's still the thing that you can in a way expect. I'm gonna play right now a defense against these Evo Bats, and there we go. I think I can ignore the Evo Barrel. I'm gonna take some damage, but it's not too notable. I'm gonna play the Mighty Miner in front, and I'm gonna play Hog Rider as well, just to kinda set up a very violent attack that's gonna actually take his tower. Okay, it's not gonna take his tower, but it's close enough, and we're gonna be sitting at a very good position. I'm gonna play the Ice Spirit here to distract the Mega Knight, which is gonna be perfect. RG will actually skip, which is super interesting because obviously it shouldn't, but it's okay. We're gonna play the log behind the Hog Rider, we're gonna take the tower, and we're gonna secure a very nice score, which is 2-0 in the game number 1 of today's video. So we're playing against MK Prince RG, which I only right now realized it was the meta deck from, I believe, 2018, which is like, this deck is not good right now, but you always will see at least one player on ladder somewhere running this, and we've met him today, so that's pretty much how you want to play against this deck. Pretty comfortable offense. I actually was surprised that he wasn't using Evo MK, because I think Evo MK is way more important in this deck than Evo Bats. My opponent obviously opted to play Evo Bats instead. It is his choice. I disagree with that. Let me just say that much. Next opponent will be playing the Skeleton Barrel and the Royal Recruits shortly after. I'm gonna play Firecracker in the back, and I'm gonna play the Mighty Miner after that to activate the 3-card cycle and basically get the next Firecracker very quickly. I'm gonna play Ice Spirit here to kite most of the recruits and the Berserker. Mighty Miner should contest the last recruit, so we take no damage, and we're gonna get away with pretty nice defense. If my opponent decides to go for his win condition, which honestly may be Royal Hawks, but maybe something else, we have the Firecracker always to play. I'm gonna play Firecracker right here. Like I've said, we have the activated 3-card cycle, so we might as well just use that. Kinda sucks that we couldn't I actually don't remember what I was trying to say. But we're gonna get a pretty nice trade. We're gonna play Mighty Miner in the middle. It's one of the best counters to the Royal Recruits and Evo Royal Recruits, to which we are facing right now. I'm gonna play the log and the skeletons to kind of min-max the damage we're gonna take from the cannon card, and we're gonna take non-damage, so that's gonna be pretty perfect. We wasted a log, which definitely may and entice my opponent to go in with the skeleton barrel, and I think it's gonna be the best play for him because we have the Evo Cannon only for defense. We can also play EQ, but like I don't feel like taking more damage, so we're gonna play Evo Cannon if he does. He plays Berserker in the back, starting to cycle, it's okay for us. We're gonna play now Firecracker against the skeleton barrel because it's the more reliable way of taking it out, and we're gonna also 3-card cycle to our next Firecracker, which is gonna be super cool. We're gonna play Earthquake against the Zappy, and my opponent is playing Executioner against this. So we're gonna play the Firecracker, not only to cycle, but also to kinda get some damage. I'm gonna play now my Evo Cannon, which is an absolute beast. We're gonna play EQ right here, and I think I'm gonna surround this Exe with the skeletons. That should be neat, and there we go. We're gonna play Evo Firecracker on defense, and we're gonna take some recruits damage, because in this type of damage, we only want to focus one lane at the time. My opponent probably will play something to stop the Firecracker, and he will actually eat the Hog, which is super interesting. So we're gonna get our damage, and right now all we have to do is to perfectly defend, which is gonna be pretty much the hard part of this sentence. I'm gonna play the Mighty Miner's ability to stall the Royal Recruits in place. I'm gonna play the Lock on the Skeleton Barrel, and I played the Hog Rider instead of the Cannon, so that's gonna be definitely the interesting defense. I'm gonna play Firecracker right here as well to counter the Zappies, and my opponent is slowly but surely catching up on damage, so we have to play very carefully. I'm gonna play EQ to kind of slow down the Exe. My opponent, very smart, plays the Can card. Maybe I shouldn't have played Log, but it's still fine. I have to distract the Exe right here. And there we go. And we're gonna play Hyken as well. We want to pick up this Executioner. And we're gonna eat some damage on the opposite side, which absolutely sucks, but I think we're still in a very good spot. I'm gonna cycle Mighty Miner on the opposite side, just to make sure that we have the 3-card cycle. And my opponent's playing Recruits. I will try to play the Lock against those. My opponent will be playing Poison against that. That's absolutely fine by me. Now he plays Evo Exe at the bridge, which won't target the tower, which is super neat. We're gonna play Evo Cannon to make sure that nothing weird happens. We're gonna play the Lock to make sure that the Exe dies. And there we go. We're gonna play EQ against that. In fact, I'm gonna also commit to the Evo Firecracker just to get more damage. We're gonna Log as well, just to pretty much erase everything from the opposite side. And that's gonna be very nice defense. I'm gonna play the Hog Rider. I'm gonna also play Earthquake. And right now I'm gonna actually defend with Firecracker, Skeletons, and Ice Spirit, kinda cycling to the next cards. And since we have the 3-card cycle Mighty Miner activated on the board, we can just simply cycle to another Earthquake Lock and probably win the game, as the Lock deals 59 damage at max level and Earthquake does 234. So it was definitely enough. GG, well played. We got another win against, I would say, pretty easy matchup if you know what you're doing. Usually Hog Rider decks have a very good matchup against Recruits, unless they have the Flank Machine, because Flank Machine is the card that you don't have a really good response against. You have to play very carefully against it, but if Recruits decks don't have a Flank Machine, it's usually gonna be a smooth sailing, like you've seen right here. Okay, in the next matchup, my opponent starts off with a very interesting emote, and now he actually goes in pretty much all in, I would say. I'm gonna play Firecracker and Mighty Miner to defend that. This prince may be trying to get something more, so I'm gonna play the Ice Spirit to prevent him from doing that, and then we're gonna go for the Hog Rider with all of that nonsense. My opponent plays Ewis to activate his King Tower, definitely the smart play, but he will take 2 hits. So I would say pretty worth it for us. Also, he spent 4 elixir for that, so we're definitely up elixir. Kinda don't know what to do with this advantage, so I probably will just cycle Earthquake on the tower. Yeah, we're gonna cycle EQ, and my opponent will set up a P.E.K.K.A, which is definitely a play. I just don't know if it's the best one. I'm gonna cycle a Cannon, since even if my opponent has a win condition like a Hog Rider and he plays the Hog on the opposite side, I can always min-max. I just don't want to die to his P.E.K.K.A push, so I'm kinda respecting his P.E.K.K.A by playing Cannon. Just standard security stuff. I'm gonna play the Log and then Ice Spirit to kinda continue kiting the P.E.K.K.A. If my opponent rages, I'm gonna kite the P.E.K.K.A with the Hog. just like that. And right now the P.E.K.K.A will be fully countered, and I will be having the nice counter pushing Hog Rider on the opposite side. So that was a very successful defense. We're gonna play Mighty Miner on the Lumberjack, and I'm in a way expecting him to play the Prince on the Mighty Miner. We'll see if he does. Obviously I can always pop the ability, which will be a very nice defensive resource. In fact, I'm gonna pop it right now. I kinda mistimed. Mighty Miner won't do too much, and I will try to get the skeletons to surround the Prince, and there we go. Okay, that was a pretty close one. I believe Mighty Miner didn't do any damage, but if it did, it was also very minuscule. I'm gonna play Firecracker behind this, just to make sure that the P.E.K.K.A gets a very crucial hit. I'm gonna cycle Mighty Miner on the opposite side. I want to play right now the Mighty Miner for the 3-card cycle, and I want to defend his troops pretty much by spamming chip cards. P.E.K.K.A will kill this cannon, which will be a bit of a nuisance, but I don't think it's gonna be too bad. We're gonna play the Hog Rider. Unfortunately, we won't 3-card cycle him, so it's gonna be a bit problematic. I'm gonna play skeletons against the Prince, which is definitely not the worst thing in the world. We're gonna get a kill on that, and right now we're definitely a bit lower on elixir than my opponent, so we have to definitely respect his push. He wasted vines on defense though, which means we can be very greedy with our Evo Firecracker, and we pretty much can fully counter this P.E.K.K.A. After that, we're gonna be playing the Hog Rider, kinda capitalizing on the 3-card cycle of the Mighty Miner. I actually think I didn't 3-card cycle it, so yeah. It's gonna be a bit of a problem, because if we were to 3-card cycle, we would be able to put a lot of pressure on my opponent, but now the attack will be weaker and my defense will have to be better. Let me tell that much. Okay, my opponent is playing Prince right here. I'm gonna kite it with skeletons. I'm gonna play the Mighty Miner as well. I'm gonna tank this Evo P.E.K.K.A like that. And right now I think I'm gonna just play Hog Rider to kite everything. I'm gonna play the skeletons. I'm gonna predict his rage, and there we go, the Ice Spirit comes down. And right now I think I have to play the Mighty Miner to kill this Lumberjack. Yeah, that's gonna be definitely a difficult hold. I'm gonna play skeletons to stall the Prince. Yeah, right now we're just playing all the cheap cards that we own to kinda try to survive. And Evo Lumberjack gets a lot of damage, which pretty sucks. I'm gonna play Firecracker here. I'm gonna play the Hog Rider to kite the P.E.K.K.A all the way around. We're gonna play Earthquake because I think we have to start getting some damage in. And yeah, I think we're in a very bad spot because right now my opponent just has to play a Lightning, and he does. Yeah, that's gonna be a very unfortunate game. I think I took too much damage from the Evo Lumberjack, to which I didn't have a very nice response because the EWIS reset the tower, and yeah, I just got into a very bad cycle. Usually these matchups won't be too difficult to deal with, but when your opponent gets a good cycle and you're kinda starving for elixir, it's gonna be very difficult. So in next games, I should be more careful about these scenarios. My opponent will start off with the Cannon and the Furnace, which is... honestly, it may be a lot of decks. I'm expecting most notably Drill, Hog or Graveyard, and I think it's gonna be one of these 3 decks because that were at least the most common decks with the Furnace and Cannon in the previous meta. He plays Skeletons, which means I think it's gonna be a Hog or Drill, and there we go. My opponent plays the Goblin Drill, and the Ice Spirit will be kinda coming in clutch, trying to stop everything. Still takes 1 hit, but I'm not too disappointed. I'm gonna play Earthquake, trying to sneak a hit, and I do. That's a very nice exchange for us. And right now we're gonna just play Cannon against the Furnace. I think this cannon placement will be the most optimal, because even though Cannon is getting outranged by the Furnace, you are still getting this cannon that kinda takes out the Fire Spirits. My opponent plays the Mighty Miner in the back, probably kinda signifying that he has the damage lead. So in this case, we have to kinda match his Mighty Miner on this side, because it is very likely that he wants to start playing some nasty stuff. And he pops the ability, so we have to be ready with our ability as well. Goblin will get some damage, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. We maintain our 3-card cycle, so we're gonna play the building, and there we go. we're gonna get the Hawk on the tower, and behind that is the Mighty Miner as well, so he definitely cannot ignore that. I would say pretty decent exchange. I'm gonna log this though. I'm gonna hit the Fire Spirit, there we go. And we're gonna be slightly behind damage, but I think we're doing pretty fine because right now we can just play another Hog Rider and he doesn't have the response in building. Okay, he has response in building, but he played it at 0, and pretty much the next building that he's gonna play will be outcycled. Does he have the Evo Snowball? Okay, he probably doesn't want to play it. I think he has the Evo Snowball. I'm gonna play the Evo Firecracker to kinda kill his Furnace. I'm expecting him to play the Bar Barrel. Okay, he's playing another Furnace, and there's the Bar Barrel. We're gonna protect the Firecracker. Just like that. Kinda sucks that it died, but it is what it is. And right now my opponent will get very aggressive with the drills because I think he's in a very good cycle where he can just outcycle it over and over again. We're gonna play the Log, trying to get a Furnace down, and we do. Okay, that's gonna be a very interesting predicament. I'm gonna play the Mighty Miner just in the back to start a 3-card cycle. I'm gonna play the Cannon. Okay, he plays... Okay, finally he plays the Evo Snowball. I'm gonna tank this Fire Spirit, and we're gonna play the Firecracker as well, trying to get the Furnace. Unfortunately, the Firecracker will not be there with us anymore. He plays another Furnace, which is gonna be super annoying. I'm gonna play the Evo Firecracker, trying to get some damage on the tower, and I do. Okay, I'm gonna just go in, block the drill with the skeletons, log that, cannon up high. Yeah, that's gonna be a very difficult ending of the game because my opponent is up a lot of damage, and I just don't think if I can catch up. I'm gonna play another Mighty Miner to 3-card cycle. I think it's one of the most important things in this matchup to kinda abuse the 3-card cycle. I messed up the Fire Spirit, which will suck a lot. I'm gonna play Skeletons to pick up the first Goblin. Standard procedure, and since we have the Mighty Miner still on the board, I think we just have to commit into the 3-card cycle. I'm gonna play Firecracker as well, although my opponent is getting a lot of damage, so definitely it's gonna get annoying very quickly. I'm gonna play another Hog Rider, even though I don't have 3-card cycle now. I think that's something that I have to keep doing right now since I'm down in damage. So we're gonna just commit into that play. We play another Hog Rider, we clean this up, and against the Goblin Drill we want to play Skeletons, we want to play the Ice Spirit, and we want to play the Log as well. I'm gonna play another Hog Rider, kinda hoping that I outcycled his cannon. Okay, we're gonna get a Hog very close to the tower, we're gonna get the Skeletons, and unfortunately I don't think we're gonna make it. I'm gonna play the Log just in case. And yeah, we were close, but we weren't close enough. GG. We gave it all in this matchup. I would say it's pretty difficult for Hog Rider, like you've seen. Once your opponent gets the advantage, it's very difficult for you to get the damage control back because you have to break through with Hog Rider, and in spell cycle actually poison is stronger than EQ, so you have to kinda keep that in mind. If your opponent plays drill poisons on offense, you have to kinda defend it properly, get low damage, and also kinda keep going with your 3-card cycle Hog. Very difficult stuff. I'm gonna play the Lock against the Goblin Gang. I'm already preparing the Skeletons to be played against a potential Princess. I'm gonna cycle them anyway. And he plays the Inferno Dragon, so from the Goblin Gang and the Inferno Dragon, already I can kinda guess that my opponent is playing the Zabbait. And he's playing the Miner, which just confirms me in this prediction. I'm gonna play the Earthquake on the Spear Goblins just to force out more Elixir, maybe even force out the Mega. Okay, he's not playing Mega Knight. He's gonna take a lot of damage here, and that's absolutely fine by me. I'm gonna play the Lock on that. I'm definitely down on Elixir right now, so I have to play more carefully. He probably will go for some kind of minor play. Okay, he goes for the Inferno Dragon in the back. That's okay for me. I'm gonna just play the Firecracker, and I think he's gonna go for the minor on the Firecracker, so to kinda anticipate that. I'm gonna play the Hog Rider on the opposite side. Now I'm gonna play the Mighty Miner to kite that. And yeah, we got not only a lot of damage, we also kind of prevent him from building a very big push behind the miner to snipe our firecracker. So I would say pretty good early game. And yeah, we're doing definitely fine. Some tricks that I want to kind of highlight is that if your opponent goes for the miner plus bats, usually it's gonna be fine to leave the miner, and instead of defending the miner, just focus on killing the bats. And if you have this covered, try to go for a very aggressive Hog Rider, which will kind of force out your opponent to defend the Hog Rider instead of supporting the miner. In which case, you obviously will pretty much get every benefit of the position. I'm gonna play the lock on that, very nice. He tries to break my Mighty Miner, which definitely is not even working for him. Yeah, he gets the minions read, which is definitely cool for him. I'm gonna get a cannon to kill minions and the skeleton barrel, and right now my opponent has the Evo Mega Knight, which means we cannot be as reckless with our hogs as we were previously. We have to, yeah, we have to pretty much defend this timing, because I have a strong feeling that my opponent will be very likely to... Oh, he's not playing... Oh, he's playing Evo Skeleton Barrel, okay. He's playing Evo Skeleton Barrel, that actually very makes sense. I don't think if I would be playing the Evo Skeleton Barrel, but he does, so we have to kinda adapt our gameplay to that. We're gonna play the log. The MK won't get a jump, so that's gonna be super cool for us. We're gonna play the Ice Spirit to distract the minions. I think okay, Ice Spirit will jump. And at this point, we just have to defend. We just have to play the log, and we have to play the Earthquake. The Skeleton Barrel won't be enough to take us down, and we're gonna take a very nice game right here. I think that the most important thing about this matchup was that he wasn't having the Evo MK, so he wasn't having too good of a response against the Hog Rider. Like I've said, Evo Excalibur and Evo Inferno Dragon definitely better against the air decks, I would say. But if I were to play this deck, I would keep the Excalibur as the normal card, and I would play the Evo Inferno Dragon Evo Mega Knight combo, because those cards are kind of cards that are very good when you're playing against a bad matchup, because against bad matchups usually you have to do something very crazy to come back. And while Skeleton Barrel is a very nice consistent damage dealer, it doesn't like give you the comeback opportunity, while Inferno Dragon sometimes is gonna literally just obliterate your opponent's defenses, because it's the Evo Inferno Dragon, and Evo MK obviously gives you more room for error on defensive side as well. I'm gonna play some defense right now against the Prince Witch, which is, oh god, level 16 Prince. Usually the Prince, when he hits the cannon once, and after some time gets erased from the cannon because it was standing there, usually the cannon will still be on 1 HP, but the Prince absolutely obliterated the cannon and allowed the Witch to get some crucial hits, so pretty unfortunate start, but obviously it was on me, nothing broken so far. We're gonna play the Bear Barrel here. I think it's gonna be a good idea to just get more damage, slow down the Goblin Machine, and we're gonna kill this Goblin Machine with our Mighty Miner, because if he wants to play Vines, he pretty much sets up himself for disaster. I'm gonna play the Ice Spirit in front, trying to kind of sneak some Mighty Miner hits, and I will be able to. That's actually very cool. We're gonna play the Mighty Miner's Bomb. Obviously he expected it. I didn't expect to get the entire tower out of that, but at least we are forcing out a lot of cash off of my opponent. My opponent also plays the Vines on the Firecracker, which is definitely a valid play, but now we're gonna pick up his Evo Witch pretty much for free. Okay, we're gonna just let it go, because he has to play the card on this Mighty Miner, and he does. That's a very cool side for us. We're gonna play Ice Spirit against those, and I think I'm gonna just cycle the Mighty Miner on this Goblin Machine. If the Goblin Machine hits the tower, I really don't care, because at this point he wants to go for a big swing, And if he doesn't go for a big swing, usually it's gonna be like some small damage like Goblin Machine's Rocket on the tower, which I'm absolutely okay with. I'm gonna play the cannon right now. Unfortunately, my opponent gets my Firecracker number 1, so Firecracker number 2 will be getting vined, and there we go. I'm gonna play the Mighty Miner right here, and I really hope that this Prince won't do too much damage. I'm gonna just log it for consistency, but it's gonna be some damage, though. It's gonna be pretty unfortunate. Evo Firecracker, though, will give us some value. I think I have to eat this Evo Witch, though. I'm gonna play EQ as well, try to survive this timing. We're gonna tank the Prince, and yeah, right now we're in a pretty much a very even game, because even though we are down 1000 damage, we can pretty much guarantee our damage on the tower while he cannot, so I think it's still a very good position for us. Maybe not very good, but it's good enough for us to keep playing. I'm gonna play the Firecracker on that. He plays Vines, which is, I mean, it is the correct play, but I don't think it... Okay, but I'm gonna get a lot of damage, which is super cool. I'm gonna obviously tank this Prince. And we pretty much get our damage back, so at this point we're kinda living on that, where we like technically are up damage, but we have to be super careful with how are we going in. My opponent predicts the Firecracker, which I think is the prediction that may kinda determine who wins this game. We take one Goblin Machine hit, which is definitely not the best thing in the world, but at the same time, it's not the worst thing in the world. We're gonna play another EQ log, and the Hog Rider gets a hit, so we're gonna win the game. That was the exact thing we needed, and I'm actually very surprised that the Hog got a hit. I think you still, even though you are sure that Hog won't get a hit, I think you still have to go for this Hog to kind of force out your opponent elixir, so he cannot cycle his spells, but it was a very close game. And for the last lucky drop, we're gonna actually get a 3 stars, so I would say pretty positive ending to the video. Thanks you guys for watching. That was the daily upload with the Hog Cycle, and I hope you guys, I hope to see you guys tomorrow. See ya.